If you want to watch a movie tonight, you probably open Netflix. You scroll through their library of about 7,000 titles. You pick something. You watch it. You forget it. But in Seattle, Washington, there is a place that rejects that entire model. They don't have 7,000 movies. They have 147,000. That's 20 times larger than Netflix. It's larger than Amazon Prime. It's larger than Disney Plus. And in 2024, when the streaming giants tried to bury physical media forever, Scarecrow didn't just survive, they went to war. They proved that a single video store could do what a $200 billion company couldn't. 10 years ago, everyone said this business was dead. Blockbuster is gone. Hollywood Video is gone. Even Netflix's own DVD service is dead. We were told that the future was digital, that owning things was obsolete, and that everything we ever wanted to watch would live in the cloud. They lied. The cloud is evaporating, and while the giants are deleting history, one independent store in the Pacific Northwest is the only thing standing between us and a cultural dark age. To understand why this place is immortal, you have to understand the man who built it. George Latsios. George wasn't a businessman, he was obsessive. In 1988, he started renting his personal collection out of the back of a record store. But George didn't just want the hits, he wanted everything. While Blockbuster was stocking 50 copies of Top Gun, George was importing laserdiscs from Japan, horror movies from Italy, and silent films that hadn't been seen in decades. He didn't care about turnover rates, he cared about preservation. He organized the store not by genre, but by country, by director, by movement. He created sections for psychotronic, for avant-garde, for French New Wave. It wasn't about making money, it was about completeness. And he hired people who felt the same way. The staff at Scarecrow aren't clerks, they are film professors disguised as retail workers. Walk into the store, and you won't see an algorithm telling you what's trending now. You'll see handwritten notes, passionate arguments taped to the DVD cases telling you exactly why you need to watch an obscure 1970s Polish drama. An algorithm gives you what it thinks you want based on what you've already seen. It creates an echo chamber. A human gives you what you need to see, even if you don't know it yet. That human connection is the soul of the place. He built a collection so rare that, and this is a real stat, of the top 100 rarest American films, the Library of Congress, the actual US government, is missing 88 of them. Scarecrow has almost all of them. Think about that for a second. A video store in Seattle has a better archive of American culture than the Library of Congress. It wasn't a store, it was the United Nations of Film, a temple. But temples are expensive. And in 2003, the real world came crashing in. George was diagnosed with brain cancer. The soul of the store was fighting for his life, just as the internet was preparing to kill his creation. George passed away, but he left behind a mission, a belief that film wasn't content, it was art, and art deserves a home. Fast forward to 2024. George's worst fears came true. We were promised a digital utopia where everything would be available forever at the click of a button. We were lied to. Streaming services started doing something terrifying. They didn't just stop selling movies, they started deleting them. Disney removed the show Willow from its platform entirely. Not because nobody was watching it, but because they could claim a tax write-off if they made it disappear. It's called the memory hole. Shows like Westworld were pulled from HBO Max. 28 days later is almost impossible to stream. Dogma by Kevin Smith isn't on any platform. Godzilla Minus One won an Oscar and then vanished for months because of licensing deals. If you didn't buy the physical disc, it's gone. We realized that digital ownership is a myth. You don't own your movies on Amazon. You are renting a license that can be revoked at any moment. The library isn't growing, it's shrinking. And it's not just about availability, it's about quality. But it gets worse. Streaming services are silently editing history. Have you ever rewatched a show like Scrubs or Supernatural online and noticed the music is different? That's because the streaming licenses expired, so they replaced the iconic songs with generic stock music. Or look at The French Connection. Some streaming versions censored pivotal scenes without telling the audience. When you stream, you are watching the current approved version. When you own the physical media, you own the original art. You own the history. Scarecrow doesn't stock the edited version. They stock the truth. And let's talk about quality. Streaming services compress movies to save bandwidth. You are watching a shadow of the original film. Dark scenes are pixelated. The audio is compressed. But at Scarecrow, you get the 4K Blu-ray. You get the uncompressed audio. You get the director's commentary, the deleted scenes, the making of documentaries. You get the full experience, not the content slop that the algorithm feeds you. This is why Scarecrow became more than a store. It became an arc. While Netflix was deleting history to save a few pennies on their quarterly earnings report, Scarecrow was preserving it. But being an arc is expensive. By 2014, the writing was on the wall. Streaming was booming. Netflix had pivoted from DVDs to streaming, and the world followed. Revenue at Scarecrow dropped 40%. The lease was up. The landlords were selling. This is the part of the story where every other video store rolls credits. This is where Blockbuster folded. This is where the local mom-and-pop shops surrendered. But the staff, the community, they refused to let it burn. They did something radical. They stopped trying to be a business. They became a non-profit. The Scarecrow Project. They argued that a video store wasn't a retail shop. It was a museum, a library, a cultural institution that deserved to be saved. And it worked. They raised $100,000 on Kickstarter. They bought some time. But time is expensive in Seattle. Rent went up, wages went up. And in June 2024, the math finally broke. They issued an SOS. They didn't need a few $1,000s. They needed $1.8 million, or the doors would close forever. This wasn't a drill. This was extinction. The news hit the community like a bomb. People thought Scarecrow was safe. They thought non-profit meant invincible. They were wrong. The board was transparent. Without this money, the archive would be broken up, sold off to private collectors, locked away in basements where no one could see it. The United Nations of Film would be dissolved. This wasn't just about nostalgia. This was about survival. 7,000 people stepped up. Donors from Japan, from London, from all 50 states. By October, they had raised over $600,000, enough to secure the lease through 2026. And they launched their counterattack, rent by mail. When Netflix killed their DVD service in 2023, they left millions of customers stranded. Rural customers, cinephiles, people with bad internet. Scarecrow stepped in. Now, they ship that massive 147,000 title library to anyone in America. Here is how it works. You pay $12 for shipping. You can rent up to 6 movies at a time. They ship them to your door. You watch them. You ship them back in a prepaid envelope. It's simple. It's tactile. It's real. Opening that yellow envelope feels different than clicking a thumbnail. It feels like Christmas. And here's the plot twist that nobody saw coming. It isn't just old people renting these movies. It's Gen Z. Just like the vinyl revolution, a new generation is realizing that cloud collections are fake. They want physical objects. They want to hold the liner notes. They want to see the cover art. They are treating physical media not as obsolete technology, but as collectible art. Scarecrow isn't a graveyard for the past, it's a seed bank for the future. Scarecrow even offers mystery bundles. You tell them what you like, and their experts handpick 6 movies you've never heard of. It's the anti-algorithm. It's discovery, purely powered by human passion. While Netflix is using AI to recommend you content, Scarecrow has actual humans curating art. You can rent pink flamingos. You can rent obscure Japanese horror. You can rent the movies that the algorithm forgot. It's the ultimate democratization of cinema. Netflix wants you to watch what's trending. Scarecrow wants you to watch what matters. Scarecrow Video proved that convenience isn't everything. Sometimes we want connection. We want to hold the art in our hands. We want to walk down an aisle and find something an algorithm would never show us. They proved that small can beat big, if small cares more than big ever could. They didn't just save a store, they saved a memory. They saved the idea that some things are worth fighting for, even when the math says you should lose. If you love stories about film history and the people who fight to save it, you need to listen to Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez. It's the ultimate underdog story of making a movie with nothing but grit, $7,000, and a refusal to quit. It captures the exact same spirit that keeps Scarecrow alive today. And the best place to listen to it is Audible. Audible has the largest collection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just taking a break from the screens, Audible lets you experience stories in a whole new way. And right now is the perfect time to join because they have a massive limited time offer. You can get Audible for just 99 cents for 3 months. That's right, less than $1 gets you 3 full months of access. It's an incredible deal, but it won't last long. Go to the link in the description to grab it before it's gone. Listen to Rebel Without a Crew. Understand why places like Scarecrow matter. Because if we lose places like this, we don't just lose a store, we lose our memory. If you want to see how small beats big, hit subscribe. Because these stories, they're everywhere. You just gotta know where to look. More owners, more towns, more proof that small still wins. See you next time.